Big shout out to Tommy V in Michigan. He was on fire this morning.
Okay, thank you, Tommy V in Michigan. Yes, sir. If you share my prayers.
Tommy V's on. Yeah, we'll jump over there. How about that?
Unless Mr. McDaniel needs to take somebody out of order. The first one on the list is Timothy Summerland. Mr. Summerland, good morning. Mr. Summerland, you're here for first appearance. You've got 3 new charges, 3 older charges, and a holdout of Bay County. So your new charges are possession of drug paraphernalia and child neglect. In addition to that, you have a charge of grand theft, resisting a merchant, and battery. And then you have a holdout of Bay County. There is probable cause on all of the new charges, and I'm going to set you a bond in those cases. The Bay County case does not have a bond on it. So if you do post the bond I'm about to set, you'll simply be transferred from one jail to another. If you don't post the bond, you'll deal with the Jackson County cases first. Mr. McDaniel, anything else I need to know, Mr. Summerland?
No, Your Honor.
I got a question.
And Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond, no contact with the child, no contact with Stephen Combs or with Walmart, and no illegal substance without a prescription.
Okay. You have a question, Mr. Summerland?
All right, so I want to know how come I got a child neglect when all I did was have possession of paraphernalia.
Yeah, you're accused of having a bunch of needles in the hotel room that the child had access to. The second part of that charge is you're accused of being a caregiver of the child. Now, whether the state can prove that or not, I don't know, but that's what's alleged.
Typically
a caregiver is a parent or a babysitter or something like that. You were neither. But the complaint alleges that you assume the responsibility of caregiver and even call the child your child. So there's enough for probable cause.
I'll take the charges. I'll take the charges. I don't want nobody else to get charged.
Well, on the grand theft, your charge will be $10,000. On the neglect of a child, your bond will be $10,000. Those are the 2 felonies. The paraphernalia, resisting merchant, and battery will be $5,000 each. Mr. Summerland, your Jackson County charges come up to a total bond of $35,000. There's a condition of no contact with the alleged victim in the battery, no contact with any Walmart. And the battery is the employee at Walmart that you're accused of hitting when you were trying to steal the stuff. That's what the accusations are. And no contact with the child. Let me finish talking, and then I'll give you a chance to talk. But don't interrupt me anymore. We're trying to do court here, okay? There's a random urinalysis as a condition. And I think I said no contact with a child. Now, do you have any questions, Mr. Summerland? Now's your chance to ask questions. No questions? All right. Have a good day. Mr. Keys, Christopher Keys is next.
Yes.
I don't think about that. Okay. I'm being told that Mr. McDaniel, now being told that Mr. Keys may have Mr. Summerlin may have an active warrant for something else.
Got a child support warrant, but if that's what you're referring to.
Okay. Then that's not something we're going to see him on anyway. Thank you. Christopher Keys. Mr. Keys, good morning, sir. You have a holdout of Hendry County. It does have a bond on it. It's a $603 bond. Mr. Keys, if you post the bond, you're going to be released. If you're not able to post the bond, then they'll transport you. Either we'll take you down there or they'll pick you up. We'll get you down there one way or the other. And when you get down there, you'll go to another hearing in front of a hearing officer or judge. If it's a criminal case, it'll be a judge. If it's a child support case, it may be a hearing officer. Any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Wish you the best, sir. We have Timothy Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs, good morning. Mr. Gibbs, you're here for first appearance, accused of 1 count of aggravated battery and 1 count of resisting an officer without violence. There is probable cause for these charges. Mr. Gibbs, it looked to me on the DOC website like you're still on probation. Is that correct?
I don't know. We filed for early terms. To my knowledge, no, but
Yeah, according to the website, you're still on probation. Mr. McDaniel, anything else I need to know?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond and no contact with the victim.
Mr. Gibbs, based on your history and the fact that you're already on probation for a crime against a female, and now you've got an aggravated battery charge against a female, your bond on the aggravated battery is going to be $50,000. Resisting without violence will be $10,000. Your bond today is $60,000 cash or surety, but don't try to post it because I'm going to hold you 10 days with no bond. Ms. Bremer, he's on probation in 20-185 CF and 20-147 CF. Please notify the probation office of his arrest, and we'll see what Judge Garcia wants to do with that. So, Mr. Gibbs, I'll see you in 10 days, and we'll see if there's a warrant or not in the VOP case. Mr. Gibbs, do you have any questions?
Just at this point, if I'm not able to bond out because of a hold, I would like to invoke my right to a speedy trial.
Okay. Wait, you don't have a right to a speedy trial in the VOP case?
I know, but I do
on the felony, and it's 6 months, so we've got plenty of time to deal with that. Okay, we'll get you an attorney before you do that. So we'll see you at your next court date, sir. All right. Kevin Smith.
Come on, Kevin.
Mr. Smith, good morning. You're here for first appearance accused of one count of possession of controlled substance without a prescription and one count of possession of controlled substance. That's a different substance. There is probable cause on both these charges, and it looks to me like, according to what I looked this morning on the different websites we have access to, you've been to prison 3 times. Is that right, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to set your bond at $7,500 in each of these third-degree felonies. Mr. Smith, one of them is a possession of a single pill that's a controlled substance. I know the complaint says you claimed to have a prescription for it. You need to understand, if you do have a prescription for that pill, you or your friends or family need to get it to your attorney immediately, and that very well may help that bond or that charge. The other charge is methamphetamine, which you can't get a prescription for. It has no medicinal value. It's what the research says. So, Mr. Smith, you've got a $15,000 bond now that may or may not change depending upon the prescription situation, and your bond has a condition of random urinalysis. Mr. Smith, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Yes,
all right, sir.
Why is my old lady being charged with anything?
Miss Wilkes, is that who you're calling your old lady?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, according to the complaint, Mr. Smith, according to the complaint, she claimed ownership of some drug paraphernalia in the vehicle. And I know that she can hear us too, so let me go ahead and see what that was. I think it was some of the needles. The complaint says it was a pipe. Say that everything in the vehicle was hers. So according to the complaint, Miss Wilkes has admitted ownership of the pipe. Not the stuff in your pocket, the pipe. Any other questions?
Okay, well, the pipe and everything in the car was mine.
Don't say anything that's going to hurt yourself. Talk to an attorney in private before you say anything else, okay?
All right. Good luck to you.
Have a good day, sir.
Come on, man.
Then we have, I've got it spelled a couple different ways. I've got Gabriella Wilkes, but in one place it was spelled differently. I've got Gabriella because I couldn't find your history, and it's because it's spelled differently. Miss Wilkes, how do you spell your first name?
Gabrielia.
And how do you pronounce that?
Gabriella.
So even though the L is before the E, you pronounce it Gabriella?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Corporal, what that means is that the police department's information is correct. They have it spelled right, but the jail, whoever put it in the computer at the jail, has it misspelled. So if y'all can get that corrected, her criminal history has it spelled correctly based on what she's telling me. Miss Wilkes, you're accused of one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, and that was the pipe that I've already explained to Mr. Smith. Miss Wilkes, there is probable cause for that charge, and it looks to me like you got out of prison within the last few years, maybe in 2021. Is that right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. McDaniel, anything else on Miss Wilkes' behalf?
Nothing else, Sean.
Ms. Bremer?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond and no possession or consumption of illegal substance.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkes, based upon your criminal history, ma'am, you're going to get a bond of $3,500 cash or surety with a condition of random urinalysis. So, ma'am, if you post the bond, you'll be released immediately, but you can probably expect to be drug tested at some point if you do post a bond. Ms. Wilkes, the other thing we're going to let me finish, ma'am. Ms. Wilkes, the other thing is that I'm going to ask the jail to give you a notice for your court date. When would that be done?
June 3rd.
June 3rd at 9 a.m. So if you post the bond, ma'am, they'll give you a written notice for that court date, and we'll see you then. Now, you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, ma'am. Wish you the best. We have Alonso Ellison next. Mr. Ellison, good morning. You're here for first appearance, accused of two failure to appears. One is in case 22-530 and one is in 23-58 I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you and asking that you listen to your attorney, Mr. McDaniel.
Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Ellison. At this point in time, he's going to plead no contest to all charges. With the understanding he'll be sentenced to 6 months in the county jail with public works. He'll have 9 days jail credit. They'll both run concurrent, all the cases. The battery case, he'll have a $722 fine. The criminal mischief case and petty theft, he'll have a $370 fine. He has waived his right to jury trial. He has waived his right to jury trial and call witnesses, and he's going to go ahead and resolve this today. And there's a restitution on the case. Ms. Bremer, do you know what that restitution amount is?
Yes, in the petty theft and criminal mischief case, the restitution amount is $1,170. It was $712 for the petty theft and $458 for the mirrors and damaged television, is the information I see in the file.
So, Mr. McDaniel, are we in agreement on the restitution, or we need to schedule a restitution hearing?
We're in agreement, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ellison, did you hear everything, sir?
Yeah.
Mr. Ellison, do you have any questions about any of that?
No.
And Mr. Ellison, the last question is, are these the pleas you would like to enter to resolve these 3 charges?
Yeah.
Mr. Ellison, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest in at 22-58 That's a charge of battery. I'm going to judge you guilty, sentence you to 6 months in jail, but I do recommend you for the Public Works Trustee Program. I'm going to give you 9 days credit. In that case that you've already served, $722 court costs and fines. In case 22-530 I'm going to accept your plea of no contest to judge you guilty to the charge of petty theft and criminal mischief over $200, but less than $1,000. $370 court costs and fines. $1,170 restitution. That'll be in the form of a civil judgment, and I do recommend you for the Public Works Program in that case. And Mr. Ellison, these cases are concurrent. That's important because that means they're running at the same time. So essentially, it's one sentence. Mr. Ellis, there's no probation involved in this case. You finished the jail sentence, and this is all behind you. Mr. Ellison, do you have any questions?
All right,
have a good day, sir. We have Thomas Adams. Mr. Adams, good morning. Mr. Adams, you're here for first appearance. You're accused of 1 count of criminal mischief. Mr. Adams, the judge has already found probable cause this weekend, and you brought back today to try to resolve the case. So listen to your attorney, Mr. McDaniel, please.
Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Adams. At this point in time, he's going to enter a plea of no contest. The understanding he's going to be sentenced to 4 days in the county jail, credit for 4 days. There'll be a $370 fine, which will be a civil judgment. He has waived his right to a jury trial and call witnesses.
So, Mr. Adams, the allegation is that you allegedly destroyed a decorative rock that belonged to the city that had a value of $2. So given that, that's why the offer is what it is. Ms. Bremer, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
And Mr. Adams, any questions about that agreement?
No, sir.
And is that the plea that you would like to enter to resolve this case? Is that what you want to do to resolve the case? You want to enter the plea that your attorney put on the record? Mr. Adams, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest to the charge of criminal mischief, a second-degree misdemeanor, adjudicate you of that offense, sentence you to 4 days in jail, give you 4 days credit. Mr. Adams, $370 court costs and fines. That'll be a civil judgment. Mr. Adams, they'll do a warrants check on you. I don't know of anything. If they find something, we'll have to deal with it. If they don't find something, you're going to be released this morning. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right, sir. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We have Clay all day next.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Allday. Mr. Allday, you're here for a new charge of DUI and driving while license suspended or revoked. Mr. Allday, the judge over the weekend found probable cause. So you're being brought back this morning to talk to an attorney in person. So listen to Mr. McDaniel, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Allday. At this point in time, he's going to plea of no contest to the charges as listed. The understanding, he'll be sentenced to 6 months in the county jail with public works. That'll be $1,077 in fines. He has waived his right to a jury trial and call witnesses, and this will resolve this case today.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Mr. Allday, did you hear that agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Allday, any questions about that agreement?
No, sir.
And Mr. Allday, is that the plea that you would like to enter to resolve this case?
Yes, sir. That's the plea.
All right. And Ms. Bremer, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Allday, I'm going to accept that plea of no contest then to the new charges of DUI and driving while license suspended or revoked. The judge you guilty sentenced you to 6 months in jail. You're going to have credit for the time that you've already served, and we didn't get that amount. Mr. McDaniel, how much was that?
3 days.
3 days credit, $1,078 court costs and fines. That's set by state and county law. I do recommend you for the trustee program, Mr. Allday. I think you may have done that program before, so you know how it works. You just follow the jail rules, get out a lot quicker. Also, he's on probation for DUI out of Washington. So bond, if you please notify them. Say again.
He's on bond. He's on bond.
Oh, you're on bond. I apologize. You're right. I read it this morning. You are on bond. Please notify them. So, Mr. Allday, here's why that's important. You may be able to resolve that while you're here, or you may get close to the completion of this sentence. You get down to like a week or 10 days, and we go ahead and ship you over there if they want you. Right now, they don't have a warrant. We'll see if they want you or not. We'll see what they want. Most of the time, they would get a warrant in something like this and give you a jail sentence over there and be done with it. But that's something you need to talk to them about. So, Mr. Allday, if they don't have a warrant for you when you finish your sentence here, you'll be released. Mr. Allday, yes, do you have any questions?
None, sir. Thank you. And sorry for all this.
Mr. Allday, I wish you the best, sir. Hang on. Our clerk, Ms. Williams, has a question. Yes, ma'am. He had 3 priors. So it would be a first degree. All right, sir. I wish you the best, Mr. Allday. We have Ms. Barnes on the list, but my understanding is that's a felony case. Mr. McDaniel, we won't be seeing her this morning. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Larry Hill,
I think
Larry Hill, I wasn't sure if he needed to be seen or not, so I bring him up.
Yeah, Mr. Hill, I called the jail this morning to ask why you weren't to be seen to be arraigned, and Sergeant Gross told me that you already been arraigned, that you had a hold from Gaston County, that you went to Gaston County and resolved that and just came back to court. So you've already been arraigned and you have a VOP pending with no bond. Is that right, Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll make sure that we get you on the next docket. Mr. McDaniel.
May 7th is the next docket.
May 7th. We'll make sure we get you on the May 7th docket. And I'm going to ask Mr. McDaniel to notify your attorney that you're back here now in our jail. And that's probably going to be Mr. Green, and ask that attorney to come see you. Mr. Hill, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm here on the VOP, and I was wondering when is VOP court or whenever they do that.
May 7th.
May 7th. Yes, sir.
All right.
That's about actually 2.5. Well, actually, is it 2 weeks from tomorrow? I believe it'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow. Yeah. All right. All right. Have a good day. Yeah, that'd be 2 weeks from tomorrow. Mr. McDaniel, that's everything I had on my list. Anything else from the public defender's office?